What's up, guys? Welcome to my first ever official GODFORGE video. That's right, the game coming from Fateless Games Studios finally has a name, and it's GODFORGE. Today we're going to be looking at some in-game assets. We're going to be dissecting them, going over them with a fine-tooth comb, making some speculations on what some of these things that we're going to be seeing means, and we're also going to look at some attack animations as well as listen carefully to the sound design so we can admire it all together. Let's dive in. Okay, so now let's take a look at what appears to be the character menu screen. And now this is, again, a work in progress. This is not final, but this is a screenshot from the game. I actually had to ask Simon permission if I could use this in my video, so he was kind enough to allow it. But it's very similar to the screenshot they showed in their video a couple weeks ago, only this is... that one wasn't real and this one is. So, in the other one it showed King Arthur here, but from the faction banner it was just showing not the correct faction, and there's a couple other things that looked off. But here, let's take a look at everything there is here and see what we can sort of, I don't want to say speculate, but discern, glean. I don't know. We're gonna dissect this is under a microscope. So right here we have Odin the Allfather, and if you'll notice he's got this symbol right here, and it matches with the symbol here on his portrait as well. And I'm noticing the only other champion from this screen, or hero, is Zeus here. Shares the same symbol. The other two symbols I see, one looks like either a snake or a dragon, and the other seemed to be some sort of, maybe like a warrior's helm or a trident, but the color of the background seems to correlate with the color of the symbol that they've been assigned. So we can see that King Arthur down here is the same as Ramses, whoever this guy is, Hercules, and Leonidas. So I'm wondering if these are like warrior type melee units. I know Hercules and Leonidas likely are, and King Arthur, he's got a sword and a shield. Maybe this is a symbol for like tanks. I'm not really sure what this symbol could be, but the fact that Odin and Zeus share it is kind of interesting because they're very similar types of heroes. But also, not only that, if you come over here, he's got this thing that says Disruptor and Chaos. I don't know what either of those mean. I don't know if Chaos is like Affinity equivalent, and Disruptor is the sort of like, maybe he does crowd control type effects or debuffs, something like that. I don't know. This is all speculation, but it's really interesting to look at. And I don't know what this 2 means, but all of these champions seem to be Roman numeral 2. I don't know if this is like hero ascension or what. Or, not ascension. Empowerment. I don't know if this is empowerment. I had to look at my raid client to see. But then let's look at these ones that have like the serpent-like dragon feature in the bottom left. This character, and this character all appear to me to be some sort of archer or ranger type hero. So, or maybe a rogue. But I don't know about Icarus, Anubis. I don't know enough about their character backstories to discern whether or not they are indeed some sort of archer. I don't think about Anubis as being an archer. I don't know who this guy is either. So, it might not be like hero classes. Another thing it could be, actually, this is going to be a deep cut. I've actually scrolled all the way down to the bottom of their community page looking for the poll they released almost a year ago now, and I think they've deleted it because I can't find it, but I know it was there because I specifically remember voting on it. They had, and it's possible that I hope they don't get mad at me for talking about this because they seem to have deleted it, but it used to be there at one point they did a poll asking about what your preference is for a three-letter abbreviation for agility, AGI or AGL. And a lot of people were talking about, because I specifically remember having this conversation. It was like we were talking about. A lot of people mentioned like, oh, I prefer Dex for dexterity. You know, if we're going down that route, but I specifically called out that AGI is better because as a content creator, you can say Agi for agility for short, and it's easier than AGL, right? So I'm going back looking for that poll, and it's gone. So I don't know if they took it down because they were worried that it might spoil some mechanics, or if they just decided to go in a different direction. But it's not here anymore. Oh no, here it is. Okay. So yeah, which abbreviation is better for agility in games? I wrote AGI. So what I'm deducing is maybe this, whatever this symbol is, might indicate which stat these heroes want to stack to gain more stats. So maybe Odin is an intellect champion. Maybe you need intellect to boost up his damage. Maybe these ones with the serpent need agility to boost their stats. And maybe these ones with the red helm or trident or whatever it is are strength-based champions. Maybe you need strength or constitution, something like that, to increase their damage. So it could relate to their damage scaling, which would be kind of interesting. To me, I think that might make the most sense. Let me know what you think. Hopefully, hopefully I'm not spoiling too much. I'm just analyzing a picture that I was given permission to put in my video. Dan, go easy on Simon. We're all just really excited here. But I'm mostly interested in what this chaos and the disruptor mean. That, to me, like, I'm assuming chaos has to be the affinity. Or something along those lines. Or maybe it's disruptor. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I think this is really interesting. But now we can compare this to the screenshot that they actually put in their videos, and because it's got some subtle hints as to certain things that are going on. So this is on their community tab. You can just find the image if you go to Fateless YouTube channel on their community tab, and it's not very far down. You can scroll down to it. But this is like an artist render mock-up. You can tell that because like King Arthur is not from the Olympus faction, right? But here we have, it says order, where on Odin it said chaos, right? So we're comparing these two things. You have like ascension level, it says quick rank with an arrow and a star. So I'm assuming this allows you to sort of rank up your heroes faster. We've got these different tabs. This looks like an achievement tab. This to me looks like the gear tab. You can tap on that and it'll take you to the gearing screen for this champion. I'm not really sure what this means, but obviously this is like the default, just default view that we see here. And here oh, I'm not in the way. I'm used to being on the other side of the screen. Here it says here options: lore, ratings, lock, and unlock. So if you press this, it'll lock the champion. This will show gear rankings, or sorry, champion ratings as the players have voted on them, I'm assuming. Or maybe it pulls actual real-time data to show like a champion's win rate in certain areas, and it'll show you like how successful teams are in general on average based on performance, maybe. Or it could just be a system similar to Raid where players rate the champions, stuff like that. And then there's a tab for lore as well, which is really cool. And you can already see they've got sorting systems. But yeah, this was just like something to give the artists something to go by when they're creating the user interface. This is just like a mock-up. Hey, this is what we want the menu to look like. Make it work, fellas. Get to work. But here you can see the backgrounds of the hero portraits look a lot different, which I think these ones look cooler. Like it looks like they're in a world and it's not just a color behind them. But aesthetically it looks nicer. But if the color-coded system is relevant, it could be easier to filter through your champions at a quick glance, which could be nice as well. But yeah, I'm just trying to pick through with a fine-tooth comb to make sure we didn't miss anything. Alright, let's take a quick look at this small piece of combat. We're going to go frame by frame and break this down, everything that's happening. So right now, it appears to be... Is this Odin? No, it's not Odin. Zeus, that's the one. Zeus, it's his turn. Looks like we have 3 skills here. Whatever this is, it appears to be on a cooldown. But this seems to be the highlighted skill. And you can see he's at the top of the turn order. And then we have this fellow right here, second. Whoever this is third. And this guy's already really low HP, so it looks like Brunhild here slapped him around a little bit already. And as a result, she's sort of at the bottom of the team order, so she's waiting to get back to her turn. Also, if you look right here, whatever this is, I'm assuming it's their ultimate ability. It looks like it's like 60% charged or something. So I'm wondering if you have to do regular attacks to build ultimates to unlock them, opposed to something like Raid Shadow Legends where you can just open with their biggest ability. So that's kind of interesting. This is just speculation. I'm just going off of what I'm seeing. I don't have any inside information. I'm just looking at what's there and making an evaluation of it. Okay, full speed. The crackling of the lightning is just it just sounds like it's supposed to sound. Yeah, it's just so cool. I was really hoping to see if the turn order would populate after he took his turn, but it doesn't. It gets cut off right there. Sorry, Simon. I didn't mean to pause you on the gopher face. But yeah, I don't know. It looks so cool. And also you can see turn meters here, which is kind of interesting. Which makes sense. It correlates with what's going on over here too. So if you look, our Zeus has a full turn meter, and it's his turn. And then this guy, he's a very low turn meter, and it's indicated like he's slightly higher than Brunhild here, and he's higher in the turn order. So this appears as though there's a visual representation of who gets to go next.
Hence.
Dude, those lightning effects sound so good. Okay. Okay, so speaking of the sound design from that Zeus clip we showed earlier, here's some more sound design. This is Brunhild, their Valkyrie character. Just listen to this stuff. It all just sounds so good. Like, not only the right, but then when the ground like breaks up, it sounds like. Just listen to this, man. I can't get over how good it sounds.
You start to get a feel for.
It just sounds so good. Like, my biggest pet peeve, not my big. Okay, I have many pet peeves with Raid Shadow Legends, but one of them that has been a pet peeve from the first day I got into the game is that all the sound effects are just lame. They're like, zwing, 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 zwong, zwing. That's it. Like, I've had the sound off since day one, and I've never turned back. But I'm really excited to looking forward to playing a game where I don't have to mute everything because it just sounds stupid.
For the sound matching the visual.
She looks like she's placing a buff on this character here, so I'm guessing Brunhild is going to be some sort of support champion. But yeah, you can hear the twinkles after the buff fades.
Yeah, we have it kind of close-up view, and then we have the normal view.
Some sort of self-buff there, it appears. She was the only one who was highlighted by the glow. That was kind of cool.
Just so we can kind of get a sense of, does it feel right?
It just sounds so good. Like, I'm excited.
You get the idea. Basically, every ability has its own sound, and it needs to kind of match the visual effects that we're putting on, so that it really sells the flavor now of those animations and those VFX that we're building in. So now I'm gonna.
You guys are doing great work. Keep it up. I'm really looking forward to this. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm onto something here, or do you think I'm way off base? Like, I legitimately want to know what you're thinking, and if anyone from the Fateless team is watching this and wants to drop some subtle hints as to whether I did or did not get something right or wrong, I certainly would not appreciate, or I certainly would appreciate that. I certainly would not mind, that's for sure. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, I will see you all in another GODFORGE video soon, but until next time, everyone, take care.